This is Diz from Pales Record, and you're watching the Roosta Show. Cheers, man.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the world famous The Rooster Show. I got people everywhere. I do. And today, I'm going to be talking about people in Chicago. We have Lost Legion. Boy. So, I am looking very forward to this. Let's see what they got to say. People.
All right, there we go.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, sorry, man. I don't know what was. I haven't been on Zoom in forever, so I had like try to duck out of meetings. I was like muted and everything.
It's all right. I've only been waiting here for like 40 minutes. Actually, I just got back from the store right at 7 o'clock. So, well, salute to you, my friend. Hey,
Yeah,
James, can you hand me my coffee? That's my secretary. Thank you. You deserve a raise. Okay, well, welcome to the Rooster Show. Today we have Lost Legion. And tell me your first name, bud.
Ian.
Ian, okay, Ian Wise. Ian Wise. I thought it was a play on I Am Wise.
Oh no, it's just my name.
Your last name is Wise?
Yeah.
Well then, salute, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. So tell me, you're in Chicago, huh?
Yep.
Right on. You been out there most of your time, most of your life?
I moved up here when I was 18, so I've been up here like almost 20 years.
Where are you from?
I did most of my growing up in Birmingham, Alabama. My dad was in the Army, so we moved around a bunch when I was small. But I went to junior high and high school in Birmingham, and then moved up here.
Well, thank your dad for his service.
I will.
I'm a jarhead.
To say that to me today.
Really, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm a third generation Marine.
No shit.
Yeah. So I love America. I love my people. So tell me about your band, Lost Legion, man. When was that created?
So Lost Legion, we started doing it in, I think it was 2015. But it was just recordings. So we did a demo back in 2015 of a couple songs, and then we did another demo like 2017 or 2018. But we didn't play a show till 2023. like July
Oh, wow.
2023. Yeah. It just like wasn't ever anything that we thought about doing until then, really. It like, you
Hey,
know.
yeah. You keep saying we. Tell me about your band members.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we actually just kind of got a solidified lineup for the first time. When it started, it was myself and a guy named Griff. We just met and we had real similar music tastes, so we wanted to do something. And then he introduced me to Dave, who played drums. So Dave and I met the first time Lost Legion practiced, and we recorded our demo that day. So we've always kind of functioned like that. Griff moved. He ended up moving to Denver, and we tried to do things long term, and it just like was not working. So now it's back to me, and it's just me and Dave, you know, or it went to just Dave. So we recorded a 7-inch and an EP that was like our stuff that we worked on, and a buddy of ours filled in on bass. But we were living in the same building at the time, so we were like mates and bandmates, you know. But obviously, in 2023, when we decided that we wanted to play a show, we had to find like a band. So we've got a band of all just like good Chicago folks, except for one, a guy that just moved here from New York. So
a Yorkin, huh?
Yeah. But the rest of us have like the two guitar players, Brian and Dylan, they like grew up around here, and then Dave's from Cleveland. But he, like me, he moved here right when he was 18. You know, and then we have another Dave that plays bass now who just moved here. So that's the lineup now. Yeah.
So would you guys consider yourself oi or punk, or what do you guys?
Man, you know, it's funny. I mean, I don't really think of us as an oi band so much. We definitely are called an oi band by everybody, but I think that's just because, I don't know, we like play around with oi like style conventions a lot. And I come from the oi scene. I ran an oi record label. I've been in other oi bands, you know. But like, and we used a lot of like skinhead imagery on the LP. I don't know if you've ever the LP that we did, but it was like, even that was like kind of playing around with it. I don't know. I mean, I refer to us as like a punk band. I like call us oi.
But you do have that oi pride and all that behind.
I mean, that's definitely like where I come from. That is like my scene, you know. So I guess like anything that I do is gonna be like tinged that way, you know. But even then, like sometimes Dave has to be like, dude, this is like, I'll like write a song and he'll be like, we got to scale this back into, remember, people like think of us as an oi band, you know. He's good at kind of reining it in, you know.
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know. You've heard some of the songs. What do you think? Would you call it oi?
It seems like a cross. You're a crossbreed, you know. He, her. No, just joking.
So, like, what did you come up with, like, subculturally?
What did I grow up with?
Yeah. Like musically, like, were you?
Oh, I grew up Black Flag and all that good stuff, you know, and then honestly, I didn't really even get much into oi until a little bit later in my life.
Okay.
And I became good for, you know, doing the show, especially. I it like just really popped up. I grew up with No Wisdom Skin, and then I realized they're dirtbags, you know.
Sure. Where are you from?
Southern California.
Southern California. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't hang out with boneheads. Don't like none of that crap. You know, I don't tolerate that. I even with a kind of growing up with wearing the style. I mean, I got my boots. You know, I'm wearing them.
Yeah.
I got my laces on too. You know, but I don't believe in the hate, you know, and all that. I love the fashion of it more than I did the music at the time, because the music was just hateful. Screwdriver, you know, the Voice and all those, you know, all those hateful bands, you know, and and then I realized, you know, got away from all that to just loving mostly punk rock, and then I grew when I started doing the show, grew to love a lot of the oi bands, the Stress, and I always
like
say
the,
that
like the current wave of bands that are going.
Yeah, Strong Arm, and all kind. Yeah, definitely. There's been a great wave of bands coming out lately. Great bands from Canada, Big Boss, and all that good stuff. And my boys Reefer Madness, punk rockers from Canada. Got so I just there's so much good punk and good skin out right now that I just uniting it, man.
Yeah.
Uniting that brotherhood.
Yeah.
And do the best I can to keep it alive. Use the positive stuff. The 69, man. 1969, baby.
Yeah.
So forget that hateful crap, man. There's too much hatefulness already in this world. So much division.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though.
And weird crap.
Yeah, and you're older than me, I assume. How old are you?
52. Gonna be 53 soon.
I'm 37. So like I came up as a teenager in Alabama. That stuff was definitely still happening, but it was kind of on the end of it. I mean, really, dude, by the time I was in my like late 20s, I mean, there were not a lot of racist skinheads left. I mean, they had like, and I mean, like the really like radicalized ones. I mean, they had been kicked out of Chicago by the time I got here,
Awesome.
Like Chicago was a very no tolerance city for that. So I never really had to deal with that here. But like, dude, I mean, it's funny now, like to think, because that used to be like a constant conversation you used to have with people of like, I'm not a racist, and like I'm not, and you know what I mean?
You have to say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then like when I was a kid, like in Alabama, I mean, I got involved in like some real serious violence because of white supremacists and like me not being racist,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I didn't even get the chance to like decide to be anti-racist. I just became a skinhead, and I wasn't down with the racist stuff, and so like I had a target on my back, so it's like
exactly.
Yeah, and but like, dude, kids now like don't think of skinheads as racist at all. There's like a 0%, dude, and like think about it, like
that's cool.
If you were a kid, you're from your age group, if you were interested in skinheads, and where did you go fucking find out information? You went to the record store or whatever, and you walked
Resistance. I went to Resistance Records, man.
Oh yeah, Jesus. And like, well, yeah. I mean, I had similar things. I mean, there was like American Defense Records was in Savannah, and it was like their politics were not all the way out there yet.
Exactly.
But like, dude, kids now, man, if you're like interested, like you saw the style and you thought it was cool and wanted to check it out, kids go on fucking TikTok. And they type in skinhead and they get a video of like a bunch of Malaysian kids dancing to ska. Like it's like the thought of like racism or fascism like it's not even in the sphere in so many places anymore.
That's awesome though. That's good.
It's like a totally I never have to talk about that.
That's good. Well, let's get back to your band then real quick. What are you trying to say with your lyrics in your band? What are you trying to get across? If I'm brand new, what are you trying to say? What do you stand for?
Yeah, I don't really think of the band that way. Like I have been in bands that I thought of it that way. I guess maybe because I'm older, I don't really think about like having a statement that I have to explain all the time. I just play music because I like playing music, and I write songs about what's like going on in my life.
Okay.
I guess that's one of the other things about like the distinction of like that with an Oi band is like a lot of times with Oi, it's like the point is that you're talking to an audience. And so you are trying to convey a message like I am anti-fascist, or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't even think like that with this band. It literally is just like, I write songs, and it's very cool to see people like when people do respond to something like that, because it's a little bit more of like a personal connection, rather than like, oh, you wrote this song about politics that I agree with,
Exactly.
So yeah, it's always just like, it's kind of different when somebody tells you that like they dug something you did when it's like more personal.
Exactly. Especially when you write something from your heart,
Yeah.
Because that's what music's all about anyways. I believe is to reach people. And then you have issues that people are dealing with that need to hear what you're going through and need to hear that positive outcome. You know what I mean? So just like with the last band I was talking about, they had a song that's doing really well about suicide, because they had friends that dealt with suicide, and so it's important for people to hear that because there's a lot of troubled people out there, a lot of hurt people. They can really use that positive message. So
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a musician myself. I love to write. So
yeah.
I know that feeling that when you write something straight from your heart, that adrenaline feeling, that joy, that buzz in the back of your neck feeling when you get it right, when you nail it. And but sometimes it's hard to let that out. Sometimes it's hard to get it off your chest. Sometimes it's hard to make it sound the way you want it to sound in your head, into that, on an album. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I try not to really have fully realized ideas in my head before I try to write something, because then I just deal with it not sounding like what's in my head, and I just get frustrated.
Yeah.
I kind of, that's like the other thing about like learning how to make music differently now that I'm older, and like trying to find a process that's like really enjoyable for me. Like it's like I kind of just start song. It's almost like going fishing, So like rather than like I hear this thing in my head and now I'm going to try to recreate that, it's like you just got to kind of go out there and see what happens, And I think that that's like a big part of this band specifically for me. It's like allowing myself like the time to do that, and then like this is the result of it.
Awesome. That's awesome. So do you have like an anthem song? Like
In the band?
Song? Yeah.
Like you mean that like is referential, or just like a song
that is kind of like one of those signature songs that you have.
We wrote this song called
people chant to, or
yeah, we have this song called "The Animals We Used to Be," that is probably the most like participatory song, in terms of like there are people like at shows know the words to that song.
That's cool.
And I think it has like the most Spotify plays or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I guess, and I do kind of think of that as like an anthem in a lot of ways, just because of what that song is about to me.
Yeah, what does it mean to you? What is it about?
So I mean, it's about being like, it's really about a specific time in my life when I was in my like early 20s. And I'd like the skinhead shit. You know what I mean? When you're like, when you're at the age when you just are fucking stupid and you fucking just will.
Bound for glory, buddy.
Yeah, you do it all the time, and that's just like what you're there
they are
for.
So bad, dude.
Bound for Glory. I couldn't hum a fucking Bound for Glory tune, man. I don't think I could even name one of their songs. Were they a Colorado band?
They were the Fight Goes On. Remember they had the Nazi dude with the flag going up. It says the fight goes on.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, dude, I totally got them confused with who the fuck am I thinking of that was Colorado? I don't know. Whatever. I haven't, dude. I have not like explored that side of Oi in a very long time.
I don't either anymore. Actually, it's like eternally stashed in the back of my head. I can't get it out. So
I totally get that. I
what's so funny is I never really cared about the lyrics when I like the energy.
I have friends that feel that way. I had an interest in. It was almost like anthropological for like, I wish there was like a less nerdy way to say that, but it was like, as an anti-fascist, I got like interested in like how certain scenes sprung up, like, and then it was like approaching these bands with like this kind of sense of curiosity, because I didn't, as like somebody that was in like 2012 to 2015, and I'm like, digging for records that were like put out in 1983. I don't have like a personal hatred towards this person who's probably already dead. You know what I mean? So like, I was like, I'm able to separate it from like, oh, these are like Nazis down the street, like in a band. And so, yeah, I mean, and yeah, like just digging through that stuff and like finding out like oh, this band was in this area. And so what does that mean? Like, there's usually these like other political things that were happening that
Yeah.
created this like scene where stuff became so reactionary, and it kind of just became this way of like learning about like the world, you know.
Honestly, I did the same thing with religion
Oh
because
really?
I'm a Christian, and
Mhm.
but I kind of just wanted to understand a lot of different beliefs, so I
Oh, for sure.
studied about Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormonism, and a whole bunch of different things, so that if I ever came across somebody that was a little different from me, I understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean? So I understand where you're getting at. It's the same kind of concept. Kind of do
Yeah,
research a
absolutely.
little bit to understand them a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, I remember I would have been 21 years old. I was back in Alabama for a second, and this guy, I'm gonna say his name because I was like, his name was Rocky. He was a few years older than me, and he had been a white supremacist, like not like super active, but he was like vocal and he would go to shows and stuff. And we had
Mm-hmm.
problems with each other when I was younger, you know. And I didn't even recognize him. His like beard was grown out. He like wasn't dressed oi or anything. And he came up to me at a show and asked me if he was one of those like, hey, are you who I think you are? And I'm like, yeah. Who are you? And then he basically told me this. He had turned his back on all that stuff, and he was like totally beyond it, you know. And we had
Yeah,
a
of course.
fucking great conversation, like a very frank conversation. And like 2 hours later, this kid showed up. I mean, kid, he was our age. He was like 21, 22, you know.
Gotcha.
And somebody grabbed me and they were like, yo, there's like this dude here that's like not wearing any white power stuff, but like he's involved in that stuff and we need him bounced. And like, can you and your friends do this, you know? And we were like, yeah, for sure. That's like what you live for when you were that age, you know?
Of course, yeah.
And this dude, Rocky, was like, yo, man, I get like what you want to do. And I'll like not stand in the way of that. But do you mind if I go talk to the kid first? Cause he was like 45, 46 years old, had been through that process, moved on from it. And I just remember he like talked to this kid where the kid was like fucking crying and shit. You know what I mean? Like it was like this thing of like, what the fuck? And him just like approaching this person with compassion, which I'm not saying we need to do all the time. And I think that we've been
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
right wing
I agree.
at times,
But
but just
hey,
like on a
love does heal, though,
one-to-one,
man. Compassion
huh?
does heal.
Yeah, well, and like just
So
on like a one-on-one
there's a time
human
and
level,
place.
like such an impressive moment in my life of like, dude, we could have stomped this kid out, and then like he just would have fucking bragged about it. You know what I mean? Like I got beat up by fucking sharps or whatever.
For the cause.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. But instead, he's got to be like, yo, I got bounced from this show, and this guy made me cry in public. You know, and it's like he like actually like it was such a more effective way of like being an anti-fascist and like actually taking apart that mindset. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
and I do try to. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just hard because I also just like I don't
Well, you're
feel
probably
like
a family man by now, right?
more of that. My kid's older, man. My kid's 18.
Yeah. I got you.
So I've like, it's yes, and so like I don't want to get involved in stuff, but
Of course.
I don't know, man. But I guess like what I was gonna say was like, yeah, there's just like there's times when I feel like you want to approach that, but that's also a lot of times like having more faith in humanity than maybe it it's gonna reciprocate, you know.
Okay, let's get back to your band.
We're talking about me.
Okay, so do you have some more work, music in the works right now, and an album coming out, or?
So we've got a 7-inch coming out very soon, split with a band called False Negative that are from Central Illinois.
Okay.
We just got the fucking records pressed.
Oh, awesome.
I don't have the covers yet, but I got the fucking 7-inch. It came out really good. It matches.
Oh, that's beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So that's coming out real soon. We're like booking a show locally that we're gonna release it at. And then we have a split coming out with an Irish band called Simpos. Do you know those guys?
No, not yet. But I
I
will.
have a feeling you would dig that band. They're like a very good band. A lot of their songs are like,
If you can, send me a link to their
yeah. I'll send it to you.
Facebook or Instagram account, and I'll get it taken care of.
Yeah, cool, man.
Thank you.
They're good dudes, and it's just they like don't take it too seriously, which I appreciate.
That's good. That's good. That's what I like because, yeah, there's already enough drama in this world, man. There's already enough crap, dude. Enough division.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, music should be fun. It should be from the heart, and it should be fun. And honestly, I think music should be healing at the same time. Yeah, just so. Do you have a process of when you go about writing your music? Do you have like is there?
Oh, well, I mean, like I said earlier, I kind of just like give myself room to kind of play around with it. So, I mean, I've got like we record everything ourselves.
So you have no record label, you just do it all yourself, DIY?
No, just the recording. We put out like this 7-inch is like a self-release, like we're doing it with the band, with the other band. But like Mendeku, Diskak, I'm probably butchering that. I need to know how to pronounce. Out of the Basque region, they put out tons of fucking great records. I don't know if you're familiar with that label.
I'm not. You're gonna have to send me that link
I'll
too.
send you a link, man. He puts out a bunch of great stuff. Our LP came out on that label. We've worked with Longshot on the West Coast.
Oh yeah.
We worked
with I know Longshot.
Germany.
Mike.
Battle Scarred. We've worked with several different labels. I want to keep working with different labels because I just like working with different people. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like a lot of the process, even though the songs are personal, like with the actual records, I like dealing with folks and like keeping up friendships and trading records and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. So I like working with different labels. But yeah, all the recording we do. We got a practice space that we share with some other bands about 15 minutes away. And then, but I've got just space here. I like set up a drum machine and I'll just kind of I'll just mess around on guitar until I come up with stuff that I dig.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So do you said you had a show coming up for your release. Do you have any more shows or a tour? Got anything coming up like that?
Yeah, I've got some stuff that I don't want to say out loud because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay. Knock on wood.
We're going out to Philadelphia in April. And we're playing Akron, Ohio on the way out there. We played Cleveland twice last year, and both those shows were great, but we didn't want to like ask Cleveland to be nice to us a third time. So we played Akron instead, which is a little college town about an hour south. So that'll be cool because there's not like an oi scene there at all, and there does not seem to be like trying to find bands on Bandcamp, at least. Like I couldn't find like punk bands. So it's going to be like an interesting show it's going to be like playing to people that like do not care who we are, which is cool.
That's all right.
I mean? Like it's like just like having to play to just like a totally dry audience that has no fucking context for what we're doing.
That's awesome. So what do you consider some of your inspirations for your music?
For the music?
Yeah, for writing music, yeah.
Dude, the soundtrack to the Batman video game on NES is a huge
that's a new one.
I just realized that a couple days ago. Let's see, that's a big one. The Replacements are like me and Dave, that's like our mutual favorite band. And like so that just like really creeps up. And like the way that we approach writing songs together, I think is very like the Replacements are always kind of in mind, you know.
Do you guys share writing lyrics?
I write most of the lyrics. He's written lyrics to a couple songs.
Okay.
But usually, I mean, like with the music, I'll usually write outline of a song. There's a couple that have been like just totally finished, and we basically just put drums on them. But like usually I'll like build a structure for it, and then we'll go to the space and we'll like work back and forth on it a few times to like get it to where it needs to be, you know?
Yeah. What's one of your most memorable shows?
One of our most memorable shows.
Yeah, or your
One of my favorite shows
your
we've ever
favorite
played.
shows. I mean, yeah.
Well, we haven't played very many shows.
Okay.
So we just started playing we played 2 shows in 2024. I think 3 shows in 2020. No, sorry, 3 shows in 2023. That's when we first started. So
Okay.
and they were all 3 of those shows were awesome. Like we played with Homefront and Poison Ruin and a band called Exido, and which Northwest Indiana band that I'm friends with played that show? I don't remember. But like it was in Gary, which is Gary, Indiana is a suburb. Like
Okay, I've heard of that. Yeah.
So it was like not in Chicago, which was kind of cool in a lot of ways because Gary's like got its own thing going on, but like Chicago people came out, you know? And then I've had a lot of friends from the south side of Chicago move to Indiana because the factories moved out there and it's just fucking cheaper to live and raise a family. So like it was also like really convenient for some of my Indiana friends to go. So it ended up being just this like real sick party. I think it was the first show that Homefront had ever played in the United States.
Wow.
And it was just, it was like a real fun show, and it was like the perfect first show. And then the next show we played was with Beton Arme, Puffer, Fuerza Bruta, Mock Execution. It was just like another like stacked lineup, you know. And like for some reason, I don't even remember we opened up for Off With Their Heads because the band that was supposed to open, one of them got COVID or something. And so it was just like literally the day of the show, it was like, do you want to play with Off With Their Heads tonight? You know? So it was like we played 3 just like huge shows that were just like so much energy and so cool, just like boom, boom, boom.
Do you get any jitters when you're on stage still?
Dude, no.
No.
Honestly, no. Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
I used to. I've gone through phases with it, you know, but now I just don't. I can kind of just tune it out, you know.
That's cool. So, what would you like to say to your fans?
Man, I don't have a message.
All 2 of them, man. All 2 of them.
Yeah. So it's people that I've been talking
about. Sorry, dude, I had to get you, buddy.
It's honestly like anything that I would say to somebody that considers themselves like a fan of this band is just like, thank you. Like I get that our band is kind of weird. And I mean, it's intentional, like, because we're just like trying to be personal with it. And so it's cool when there are people that like actually give it the time. And I appreciate that. That would be the one thing that I would say.
Awesome. Has it been kind of challenging keeping this band afloat and keeping it going?
No, because the steps have been like so slow. Like we were just a recording project for a long time, and you know, and then when we decided to play a show, Dave and I were very picky in the people that we decided to ask to be in the band. We're like a real low drama group of dudes, you know.
Gotcha.
So it's just, I think we've both been in a bunch of bands, and now we're in a band with other people that have been in a bunch of bands. And so we kind of know a lot of the problems that can arise. And I think that there's just, when you get older and you realize.
So you're just more mature now.
Yeah. And then you're also like in bands with people that like, when you're younger, you're in bands with people that are like a part of the social scene a lot of the time. And when you're older, you find that the people that still want to be in bands are usually people that like value playing music first. So you just like wind up with people that like actually want to show up and practice and like do well at a show. And you know what I mean? It's just like when it's like entering a new phase. It's kind of cool.
That is cool. So you said you guys just did mostly recording before, so
Yeah.
you consider yourself a person that just really has a love for writing music?
I
More
think so.
so than being on a stage, or
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do
like a
think
60-40, I guess.
dude, honestly, man, like okay, so here's the thing. This is gonna sound really weird. I do like writing songs, and I think it's like necessary for my mental health to like have something where I go through that process. But like, I like making a record, and like I could literally just make one, and then I would feel totally satiated, like one copy. I mean, but like I like doing all the songs and making the labels and getting the artwork figured out and like putting together the whole project because I like records. I was a huge sorry. I was a huge record collector for years. And so like having, 3,000 of something and now you have like yours that you made, like that's what was cool to me. And like, dude, straight up, if I was in a position where like I could put out a record and just sell 500 of them, just so I could have the one for myself that looks exactly like I wanted and was like pressed, you know what I mean? I would just totally do that and almost never play shows.
That's awesome.
I don't hate playing shows by any stretch,
No, of course not.
I hate going fucking places, like the actual like driving somewhere like 7 hours away to play.
Oh, it's so funny. One of the bands I was telling me that they were in California. They went all the way to Spain to do a 45-minute show, and then got right back on the airplane and came back.
You're talking about 21 Gun Salute?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that interview actually. Yeah.
Oh, you watched it. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, that's fucking. Dude, I used to be in this band called Fuerza Bruta, who you should also check out if you. They still play. But like, dude, we played in South America, and it was a fucking from Chicago to Sao Paulo was like fucking 15 hours. And our set was fucking 20 minutes long. You know what I mean? It's just like we went all the way down there. And it was sick. I mean, it was like we played Brazil twice, and like the second show was like one of the most intense shows I've played. It was like so fucking cool, because it was
awesome.
It didn't even fucking matter what the crowd was. You're just like, I'm in fucking Brazil playing guitar, and like somebody's giving me some money to do it. It's just like I'm gonna give this 4,000% because this is like
that's so sweet.
Why do I get to do this?
That's awesome.
And so like, yeah, dude. But I also had that thought of like we flew all the way down there. We played 2 shows, and then we flew to Chile, and then we flew back. It was like a cumulative fucking almost 30 hours of being on planes over around 30 hours. And then just to play music for literally 45 minutes, But there's other things. Crazy. Sorry, I'm going to flip this fucking record over.
We only got 4 minutes left.
Oh, shit. I didn't know we were timed, man.
Yeah, it's a 40-minute interview.
Oh, okay. Well, shit, dude. Sorry. I can talk, I guess.
Yeah, you're fine, dude. It's all right.
Well, do you have any more questions?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I got like almost 200 questions, but
oh shit! All right, I'll get 1-sentence answers from now on.
Yeah, no doubt. It's all right. So, do you feel that the music industry has helped out your band? Being
the music industry?
Yeah. Like you say, you work with all these different labels. Have they all?
Oh yeah. Pretty I mean, if you think about it that way, then for sure. But I consider that like very different than like the industry, Okay, Mike from Longshot's just fucking Mike from Longshot. He's just like,
I love Mike Johnson, man.
Yeah, he's not like a fucking industry guy to me. I guess I never.
I get you.
That way. You know what I'm saying?
Word, yeah, different word. Yeah, I get you. Another guy, Diz. I don't know if you know Diz from Pills Records. He's a great guy. He's from Canada.
Okay.
Wonderful label to check out. You need to check them out. They're awesome. He's awesome. In fact, I'll put him at the beginning of the show.
Cool.
I got a recording from him. So anybody you'd like to thank for your success, for the band's success so far?
Man, I was gonna say we're not successful. Dude, Mike, obviously, Alex, Try and Stop Me, Edward from Ndeku.
I love Try and Stop Me.
dude, I mean, Anthony from Battle Scarred, he's like helped put our shit out before. The Fuerza Bruta dudes, the folks in the Chisel, like folks that have like conservative military image. That dude was like real, like has talked about us, you know.
Yeah, good guy, buddy. Great band.
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, anybody that we come in contact with that's like been fucking cool and like, yeah, I don't know, way too many fucking people, which is good.
Yeah, way too. Yeah, it is good.
Yeah,
that's good. Keep the relationships going, man. And if you guys have a new album, please hit me up and we can do a promo and you can talk about every track, you know, and talk about the album or whatever. You let me know, and I'll get you back on the show again. Okay?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Right on, man. I appreciate you, Ian. It's a great name too. Great name.
Thanks, man.
Ian Stewart.
You're not the first to say that.
You take care, man. I appreciate you very much. Have a wonderful evening. More rock, less cock here on the Roosta Show. We had Lost Legion. We had Ian. Thank you, brother. And much love to you and your band. Hopefully you guys have a very successful time and a fun time as well. Yeah. So you take care of yourself, buddy. Thank you again.
See you, man.
See you later, man. Have a great night.
Conversation